What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I also want to give you guys a very important warning about some data coming out for tomorrow before the market opens. But let me first say that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, for SPY, as of right now, we're holding this support right over here. If you zoom out of the chart, I called out that we had this very, very important white trend line acting as our support. So it looks like this basically we bounced off of this 2 times. Right here, we bounced off of it, and then when we zoom back in to like the modern day time, you could see that we bounced off of this about 2 times. So we bounced off it again right here, then we bounced again off here, and we're still barely holding this support. So we have to see if this is going to hold or not. But what could determine if we get a big break in either direction is not just going to be how we end up closing, but also some big data for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, March 28th. I want to give you guys a warning because an hour before the market opens, okay, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the GDP growth rate coming out, the GDP price index, and all this importance data. If the GDP numbers are hotter than expected, this could be kind of decent. We want the GDP price index to be aligned with expectations and the growth rates to be decent. If the GDP growth rate is below expectations, if it's a very, very weak report and things are not looking as great, this could be a little negative for the stock market because the market is still being fueled by the soft landing narrative that things are not that bad. The Fed is going to cut soon and this and that. So we'll have to wait and see what the GDP numbers look like. It's going to cause a very big move in the markets, in my opinion. So with that being said, you have to remember that this is coming out an hour before the market opens for tomorrow. If you are using a typical brokerage account, you may not have an opportunity to exit your positions if you try to. You're not going to have time to exit on time if you don't exit today, basically. So, for most people, you'd want to exit today. This is your last chance to exit because if you hold overnight, by the time the market opens again on Thursday, the data is going to already be out, and this data is going to cause a very, very big move. The market will gap up or gap down. So it's your choice. If you want to hold overnight, you're going to have to hold through the data. If you don't hold overnights, then you'll have a chance to actually, kind of manage risks a bit better. So with that being said, what do I see on the charts? Honestly, guys, SPY is not looking that great. We've been on a bit of a downtrend so far, and we are attempting to hold this trend line. We're actually very close to this 520 area. But the question is, will we end up getting a big break or not? We're just barely holding this. The market closes in about 43 minutes from now. So you want to be very careful if it does. Even if it does break a little bit below that, that's still going to be okay. But the real question is, will we get a follow through move down after the GDP numbers come out? Or will this thing kind of like get a big bounce? We'll just have to wait and see. It all depends on the numbers, and it also depends on the options chain. There are also millions of options expiring for SPY, so I wouldn't be prepared. I wouldn't be surprised, if there's some kind of manipulation or anything like that. So watch and see, does SPY lose this trend line or not? Do we close to it? And don't forget that the GDP numbers tomorrow are going to affect us. For Tesla's looking pretty decent. It came down, it grabbed liquidity. Now it's coming back up. And we're seeing some buyers trying to defend 180. We'll see if Tesla closes there or not. But let me just call out that for the GDP numbers, okay, when the GDP numbers come out, it's going to cause a big move in Tesla. We'll see if Tesla runs all the way up to 182.5 plus and starts pushing higher. Or does Tesla get a big rug pull? This is going to depend on what the numbers look like. So be prepared for that. If you're holding Tesla overnight, you have to hold through the GDP numbers, which come out before the market opens tomorrow. If you want to exit your positions before the data comes out, you can also save yourself by just taking profits now. It's all up to you guys. It's not really, I'm not trying to scare anyone. You could still make crazy money holding overnight, but that's just your choice. So for now, Tesla's holding up decently, may close very close to 180, but we'll have to see if we get a big bounce or not. For Nvda, we're looking a little bit weak. We lost this key support on Nvidia, and we lost 925, which is a big sign of weakness. Now we're barely holding 892. If we lose this, we could come all the way down to 885, and then we'll see if we get a big bounce or not. This could be determined by the GDP numbers and also other pieces of news. So watch support on Nvidia. The chart does look a bit more bearish. It could come down to about 885, but watch and see if we get a bounce or not. Because we lost 900, we're not in the best of places. There's a risk of this dropping more, but the GDP numbers could determine if we end up getting that bounce, so just be prepared for that. For the QQQ, it's the same thing. The QQQ is getting dragged down thanks to Nvidia. Watch 442 as key support. If we lose this, we could come all the way down to about 440, especially thanks to Nvidia and the others. Now, whether we get a bounce or not will be determined by the GDP numbers. If we get decent GDP numbers, we could get an overnight gap up and a push back up towards 444 plus. And if the opposite happens, if we end up getting not so good numbers, we could see a rug pull. So just be careful, guys. We'll see what happens with the QQQ from here. As of right now, it's looking a bit weaker, so we're going to be looking for a test of 442 and see if it breaks. Apple is showing some strength compared to the market. It's testing resistance at the 200 EMA at 173. If we break past this, look for a push to 175 plus, which is where we have our imbalance fill. If we fail to break it, we could come back down to 170. Overall, it's showing some life, but it hasn't broken key resistance yet, so it needs a little bit more time. For a few more things out there, if you look at Amazon, it's just kind of shuffling right now at 178. It's still at its support. Between 178 and 180 is our range. If we get some bad data tomorrow, there could be a big drop coming. If not, it is what it is. We'll just have to wait and see. Same thing with Meta. Meta is looking a little weak right now, but there could be a bounce coming. It could drop a little bit more. There's still a risk of this coming down a little bit lower into the 480 area. So like 485 or so before it tries to bounce. So just be careful. And then we'll see what happens with the GDP numbers. Same thing with Microsoft. I did call out some downside yesterday, and that is what's playing out. If we fail to get back above 420 by tomorrow, there's a risk of it coming down to 415 or below that. So I just want to call that out, guys. With that being said, the choice is yours. I'm not really trying to tell you what to do. You could hold overnight. You could maybe exit your position. It's all up to you. That is your life, your own portfolio. It's all up to you. But let me just say, if you hold overnight, you have to hold through the GDP numbers, and who knows what they're going to cause. They're going to likely cause a big move. If you exit your position, you could manage risks a bit better if you don't want to risk holding overnight. But then again, guys, you could even miss out on some gains. So it kind of goes either way. The best thing to do is just be patient, make your own decision, guys. The market ends very, very soon, and just be prepared for this. I want you guys to at least know what these risks are, so at least you're prepared for tomorrow. And I want everything to be as clear as possible. With that being said, guys, the market's very mixed in a very, very critical place. A lot of people are talking about how there's going to be this big pullback and stuff like that. It's a possibility, but I need to see this thing lose our key support and get a follow through move down for there to be this nice pullback to start. We're not really seeing that yet. We're holding some key supports, so we just need more time for SPY. We need to see how things pan out. So for now, let's not worry about a crash or a big pump. Let's focus on the next thing moving forward, and that is let's see how we close and let's see what happens with the data coming out with the GDP numbers. That's going to determine how we go going into tomorrow. I think that that's going to be key for now. I like to focus on a few things at a time instead of factoring like 20 different things. I think it's easier to just do that and just to be as patient as possible in the process. All right. So with that being said, thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I will most definitely see you guys in just a couple of hours, maybe in about 2.5 to 3 hours. I should be back with the final video of the day. And then don't forget that tomorrow is Thursday, the last trading day of the week. That's also going to be very, very interesting to watch for since we have a lot of puts expiring on SPY. I'll talk more about that in my video today, a little bit later on. So thank you for listening. Please have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys very, very soon, just a couple of hours. Thank you, and peace out.